Hello, Michaela Ponce here with Ponce Equestrian Center, your instructor for all things beginner horsemen. Today, we're going to be safely grooming our horse and going through the steps and the tools that we'll use to get that done. When grooming my horse, I like to start with a curry comb because the curry comb is great for shedding loose hair. It's great for getting any mud clots off of them or any big debris that might be stuck in their coat. And then I like to follow it up with a body brush to get the dust and the extra finer dirt out of the way. So when I do this, I like to start from this area behind the ear. This space on a horse, they're typically more comfortable with me in this section. And so this is just a great way to start a relationship when I'm grooming them. I'm going to put enough pressure on the brush where it's going to move the hair a little bit, but I'm not putting a lot of pressure where it's going to poke them with the tines on the curry comb. And then as I brush with my body brush, I'm going to sit here and try to brush the dirt away from the horse and out of the coat. My next step after I get done brushing the body with the curry and body brush, I like to move to the mane and the tail. I like to use a detangler, and so I'll squirt, let my horse know that it's coming. She's comfortable with it, so I can continue to wet her mane. I'll run my fingers through the mane to spread the detangler. And then when I do the tail, I'm going to pull the tail out to the side in case my horse is uncomfortable. And I'm going to spray my tail. Next, I'll grab my mane brush. It's just like a human hair brush. I like to start with smaller sections of hair and then work my way one way towards the ears. When I get to this thicker portion, I'll grab the ends of the mane and get the tangles out, and I'll slowly work my way up. See, I don't have any pulling going on. It's just coming out nicely. If I were to stick my brush in, see how it gets stuck here? So that's not what I want to happen. I want to start in small strokes so that way my brush doesn't ever get stuck like that. And I work my way back up to the roots, and it's nice and smooth. When I move to the tail to brush it out, I want to touch them on the hip and then slide my hand over to the tail and pull it out to the side of me. So that way horses, and I want to stay up next to them, so that way if she were to do something naughty like kick or think she needs to defend herself, she's not going to have as much impact when she uses a hind foot. So I want to stay kind of next to them. I start with the bottom of the tail. Again, I just work in small pieces. I work my way up, and I'll work out all the tangles. Again, we don't want to try to bite off too much chunk and rip it out. We want to keep it smooth. It takes a long time to grow a tail like this, so we want to treat it like a good investment. When I'm grooming my horse, another part I can't forget is the legs and underneath the belly. So it's easy to see the upper body and the mane and tail, but when I get down to the legs, I want to think about there's a thin layer between the skin and the bone here. So I want to be careful when I'm using the curry comb. So I'll use a shedding sponge like this to help get that clean. Again, I want to make sure I'm always standing on my feet while I'm working with my horses. I'm going to come down and brush and get these feet clean. I want to brush with the hair, so it's going down the leg here. This is great for if you put leg boots on your horse, that there's no dirt between the boot and the horse to cause any blistering. And then the same for back feet. I want to make sure that I stay next to the horse, so I'm in my safest position. Get these legs nice and clean. And while I'm down here and I'm leaning, I'm going to go ahead and reach under and brush this belly off. See, she had some shavings from laying in her stall. And get this clean because the girth, when we saddle, is going to lay in this area, and we want to make sure this is prepared too. My next step in getting my horse ready is making sure that their feet are cleaned out. When we clean out their feet, we're checking for rocks, we're checking that their shoes are on correctly and tight. And this horse was just shod last week. So what that means is that we just put on shoes. So when I pick up this foot, you're going to see a metal horseshoe on there, and we're going to check that out as well. So when I go to ask a horse to pick up their feet, I'm going to face towards their tail. I want my shoulder kind of next to the horse, not quite touching it, but next to it. I'm going to slide my hand that's close to the horse down their leg. And this is kind of a warning for them, so that way she knows something is about to come. And so you can kind of see her start to shift her weight even before I made a big ask. I'm going to slide my hand down her leg. I'm going to pull. You can put a little bit of pressure behind this joint here to cue for her to lift it up. Once I ask her to lift it up, I'm just going to tuck my hand on against the hoof to hold it. Now, this hoof is pretty packed. So I'm going to take my hoof pick, I'm going to have it pointing down towards the ground, and I'm going to start in this area, because in this area, you'll see once we get it cleaned out, there's a cleft. And so it's on either side of the frog. Did you know that horses actually have 4 frogs? And I'll show you what one looks like. Cleaning out their feet is also really good, because when the farrier comes to take care of their feet, your horses are going to be in good obedience. So here, see this triangle portion? This is the frog. And then this right here is her horseshoe. And this helps protect her feet because she gets used a lot, and we have some rocks around here, and it keeps her hoof protected. So when I'm done, I'm going to just gently set it back down. And she was a good girl. So when I'm cleaning their feet, I always start and get my front feet done first, so that way horses are more comfortable being handled with their front feet. I'm less likely to get kicked typically, and they know what's coming. So now that I have her in the mindset of, okay, we're cleaning out feet, I'm going to go ahead and move to her back feet. Again, you want to keep your hand on the horse to tell them where we're going next. So I'm going to lead with my hand. I'm going to put it out in front of me towards her hip here, so that way she knows that I'm moving back this way and I don't surprise her. Remember, horses are prey animals, and so they get frightened easily. And so we're going to start with from our hand on her hip. We're going to slide it down the same way. Hopefully she starts thinking of lifting it up. There she is. I'm gently pulling there, and now she's going to give me this foot. So the biggest mistake I see a lot of people make is they'll twist their body like this and get in front of the hoof. And this isn't good because we're in a kick zone. But here I want to bring the foot straight back and me stay to the outside of it. And then we clean it out, same way we did the front foot. And if you'll see, you see another triangle here, their frog. And that's a pretty clean foot, no rocks, nothing wrong. Thank you for joining me today in how I safely groom a horse. I hope you enjoy your next horse experience.